Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 61st episode of the Prince of Warsaw. I'm Alexandra and I'm the storyteller.
Hi, I'm Dolores and I'm playing Janina of Clan.
Hi, my name is Faye, and I'm playing Beatrice Wozniak of Clan Malkavian.
And as always, Partners is taking care of tech. I can't, this not doesn't bode well for the rest of the episode, but let's see. He's taking care of tech and the chat, and we're very grateful for that. Um, and thank you all so much for being here for yet another episode in the story of Bea and Janina. We will start, like always, with a quick recap of what happened last time. So, previously, um, Bea spoke with Roman, the Nosferatu friend of the small coterie, about her missing sire. He came to inquire about that and also shared disturbing news that, well, there were some Nosferatu who went missing some time ago, but now the person who's been looking for them also disappeared, and Roman was thinking it would fall to him to continue the search and try to find out what happened. And they briefly discussed the danger lurking in the sewers and tunnels under Warsaw. Um, Bea getting very disturbing sense of something associated with them, but when she pushed through to recover those memories, she found that there was no concrete information there. Um, After conversation with Roman, she was taken to speak to the Ventru Primogen, Mr. Lubomirski, um, who asked how her task to infiltrate the Sabbats and look for opportunities to strike or use this connection to attack them was going. He was less interested in um, in the specific details, but asked whether Bea felt she was in danger and how she felt about continuing the task, as well as thanked her for taking this risk, saying that soon there shouldn't be need for such risky endeavors. After that, Bea spoke also with Cornelia, another Ventru, and to her she gave a fuller report. She also mentioned Rahela, another Malkavian, a young vampire who was keen to get more involved in Kindred affairs and be given more responsibility. And although Cornelia had some misgivings, Bea convinced her that Rahela was capable. Meanwhile, Janina, not wanting to wander off too far from the hotel, since the court was to be summoned later in the night, just quickly went to feed, and upon returning, met Diana, a toreador and a child of Lucian Topolsky, um, who asked whether Janina had time to check in on Dominic, what was her impression of him, because Diana, as well as her sire, were worried. And Janina mm, said that Dominic probably still needed time to recover from imprisonment by the Zimishi, but she said she would go and check in on him after the court. Uh, Following that, the Kindred of Warsaw Camarilla gathered for a meeting summoned by the Ventru Primogen. And during that meeting, first it was revealed that the Bruja Primogen Zygmunt Rey had been killed. Then, in his place, Isidor Grabowski, his child, and an anarch leader has been named. Uh, the Bruja Primogen. Following that, Mr. Lubomirski challenged the praxis of the Prince Katarzyna Chodkiewicz. Um, on the grounds of her inexperience and risky decisions that put Kindred in positions they were not ready or experienced enough for, and risked destabilizing the city. But following the vote by the Primogene Council, with deciding vote falling to newly appointed Isidore, Katarzyna Chodkiewicz remained the Prince of Warsaw. After which, Mr. Lubomirski stepped down as the venture Primogene and left the meeting. And Katarzyna Chodkiewicz expressed a wish to act as not only the prince but also the venture Primogene, which was approved by everyone except Isidore, who protested, calling it a dictatorial move. And finally, during the meeting, before it concluded, blood hunt was declared on Nastya Vasilchenko, Janina's lover, who turned out to be involved one way or another in the Sabbat attempt, successful one, to kill previous Brucha Primogene Zygmunt Ray. During the court, Bea noticed that the sheriff, Antoni Bielecki, was giving her a bit of a side eye and looking very angry when looking at her. And upset by noticing that, following the meeting, she went to confront him about it, which led to a conversation during which he revealed that to his eyes she has been involved in the plot to destabilize the city to replace Katarzyna Chodkiewicz as the prince, which Bea have not been aware of. And in a very emotional explanation, managed to convince Antoni that she was not conspiring with those who planned to change the prince of the city, which then led to Bea kissing Antoni and them revealing their feelings for each other. Meanwhile, Janina, distraught that bloodhound had just been declared on her lover, went to trash her room. She was not interrupted, but was met there by her sire, Daniel, who went to check in on her. And to him, she declared that she wanted to protect Nastya and was going to. And although he tried to get from her assurance that she wouldn't do anything stupid, he at best got something very half-hearted. Bea and Janina reunited in Janina's now trashed room, when Bea revealed what happened with Antoni, and Janina was happy for her and tried to focus on that happiness rather than on her own despair, as they started cleaning the room from things that have been thrown around and broken pieces of furniture. And that was where we left Bea and Janina last time. And that is where we will pick up. So, Bea, Janina, you spent some time cleaning the room. You can arrange some of the books and clothes that have been there. You find some of the old Mara's things that have still been lying in the room, some of her clothes now torn to shreds, some still remaining. You can restore order to the room, but the fact that the chair that was there is completely broken, a bed is broken in half, it's not something that you can deal with that easily, although you can remove the non-salvageable pieces of rubbish. And after you spend some time doing that, the room is emptier than it was. Some of the furniture is gone, some is a bit damaged. but you managed to clean Janina's room.
Oh, well, that's got it looking in better order.
Yeah, I will talk to Mariusz about replacing the bed.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I hope he will understand.
I don't know what the protocol for that is, but best of luck.
Thank you for helping me clean.
Of course. You don't have to go through things alone.
Same goes for you. We're sisters. We should be
Sisters.
there for one another.
Yes.
And I go sit on the floor next to a broken bed.
I think I'll go sit down next to her.
So, what are we up to? Do we have any tasks? Do you know how your work is going to be now?
I don't. I think I'm going to need to wait for the fallout of
Understandable.
to calm down. I'll maybe check in tomorrow evening and speak to Cornelia about who I should be reporting to.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I just hope everything's going to be fine with you.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Were you wanting to speak to Dominic?
Yes, I do. And I look at the time.
You still have time. It's not.
Okay.
It's like second half of the night, but it's not super late yet.
Okay, in that case, I get up and go to the bathroom to clean myself a bit and put myself a bit back together before I leave the room, and I smile at Belle. Will you be okay on your own? Will you be here?
I'll be around in my room.
Okay.
Do you want me to walk you there?
It's okay. I can go by myself. It's
Okay.
fine.
Well, do send him my best. I hope that he's doing well.
I will. Thank you again for being there for me.
Of course. And
catch up with you later.
yes. And if you need anything, just come find me.
Okay. And I just give Belle a half happy, half sad smile. And I leave to find Dominic's room.
You know where he's staying right now, so it's not an issue to get there. How are you feeling having cleaned up the mess? You're happy for Bea, but
Yeah, I think once I'm not in Bea's presence, I'm less invested in her relationship with Antoni and more thinking about Nastya, and I feel this pain and worry in my chest and anxiety because I don't know how the future will play out and if I will ever be able to do anything to help her. But after a moment, and when I feel that my insides are not doing well, and I feel like I'm going to cry, I start to try to put myself back together and think about Dominic and things I want to talk about with him about. And so by the time I get to his room, I'm much more composed.
And you knock on the door. And you hear a faint voice coming back, Dominic's voice. Lucian, is that you?
No, it's me, Janina. I hope it's
Janina.
not a bad time.
Come in. And you hear that he comes up to the door and then opens it for you, and you see his human, handsome face that he's been wearing at the court meeting earlier, which is the same face that you saw him with when you rescued him from house of Lady Leocadia.
I give him a smile, soft, small smile. I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, I'm on my own.
Is it okay? I just wanted to.
I wanted to have some, but no, you can come in. It's all right.
Okay. Are you sure I don't want to impose?
No, it's okay. You're not imposing. You are a friend, he says, and he smiles, but it is a very faint smile.
I give him a same faint smile back as I go inside the room.
Gandalf looks around and he sits on a bed, opposite which there is a mirror on the wall, and you see him looking towards the mirror, and then he looks back to you and says, "Please sit down," and he gestures towards a chair, an armchair that he has in there.
I will go towards the place where he gestured me to sit, and I sit and I give him another faint smile. Well, tonight's been a long night.
It certainly has. Do you have any?
I'm sorry.
He smiles at you at that. Go on, please.
I was just wondering if you had any thoughts about what happened there, and if you had a preference.
I was about to ask you the same. I don't really care, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
But I know that Lucian would want Lady Chodkiewicz to remain the prince. And so I hoped for that, for his sake.
That's nice. Yeah, I guess I'm having the same feelings, but instead of Lucian, I'm thinking about Zygmunt and what he would have wanted.
I did not know him. I know he was your primogen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. To be honest, I was with him when it happened, and I tried to help, but I wasn't strong enough.
I'm sorry, Janina. That must have been awful.
It was really awful. I feel kind of lost without him, you know. He was like a father to me, and I knew that I could always come to him, even with my ridiculous Bruja problems.
He smiles at that. I'm glad you are okay.
Yeah, how are you feeling?
You see that he looks towards the mirror again, and then back towards you.
Can I find out what try to guess what he's feeling?
You can try to guess, or you can read his aura. You
Yes,
have both those abilities. Which one would you like to use?
I want to read his aura.
Well, that's perception and empathy, difficulty 8.
Okay. 3 successes, 2 9s and 10.
3 successes. All right. So you see his pale, faint aura indicating a kindred. You haven't used this ability that much, but you've noticed that all kindred seem to have these pale colors in their auras. And you see that as you're talking to him, especially that you finished recounting your story, he's worried and relieved for you. But you see that dominant emotion in his aura is sadness. And there is some longing there, something unsettled, a bit of anxiety. And as he glances towards the mirror, there is this sting of pain and certain revulsion, and again longing.
Okay, I will let him tell me how he's feeling.
So he looks to you, like moving eyes away from the mirror, looking at your face. I'm all right. I suppose I don't even know, Janina. I feel numb sometimes, detached from everything. Maybe I'm still settling in. Maybe I'm still processing something.
You seem sad.
He looks towards the mirror again and then back at you. I'm not, well, I suppose I'm not doing too well, if I'm completely honest.
Can I do anything for you? I reach my hand towards his shoulder.
He lets you put a hand on his shoulder and he gives this faint smile. Not sure if I'm honest. Your company is nice. I have missed you.
I missed you too. It's nice to have friends you can be yourself around.
You see that there's this visible pain on his face as you say that, and he glances towards the mirror and then says, yourself, yes. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Am I being insensitive? I glanced to the mirror and back at him.
Roll your charisma and persuasion. Difficulty 7.
3 successes, 2 8s, and 10.
Then as you ask and look to the mirror, he just shakes his head and gives you a bit warmer smile. No, you're not. It's not about you. It's just a question of myself, and what that constitutes is a difficult one.
I don't think I can understand how you're feeling, but I'm sure people who love you, like me, Lucian, Diana, we will always love you, no matter how you look.
I know, but I look in the mirror and I could put on the deception, but I know I don't look like me.
Is this a deception? And I look him up and down.
Yeah, all you can see is this quite handsome, very classical sort of looking face, clean shaven, very thin.
Okay.
You can't see through that.
Yeah, but I'm asking him.
Yeah, you're asking him if that is a deception.
Yes.
And he says, yes, I mean, of course it is. I can't deceive myself.
Well, and why are you putting on the deception? I'm sure Lucian doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't. For reasons I will never understand. But I don't want to. He doesn't, but others will mind. And I will mind. I don't want them to see me as I am right now. Even though some obviously always can.
Well, you can be yourself with me. I don't need a deception.
You had 3 successes. Yeah. And he looks to you, he glances to the mirror. And then the face he described as deception drops. And you see his face not quite as you remember him looking in his Nosferatu appearance, but somewhere in between one and the other still, although much closer to his Nosferatu look. Most of his hair have fallen out now, but there are few strands here and there still left on his head, but looking kind of dry and breaking. His skin has this leathery, dried up sort of look. Some of it is peeling off slightly. And you see these veins looking dark, kind of beginning to protrude through parts of his skin. And now you see that not quite to the level it was before, but the very left corner of his mouth is unmoving as he's speaking, being completely paralyzed.
Okay. When he drops the obfuscate, I will give him a more warmer, soft smile, and I gently stroke his face and give him a hug.
He leans into you in the hug and then hugs you back.
We're perfect.
He just shakes his head, but he does not reply. And what are you thinking, Janina? What is your feeling on all of this?
Well, I understand that he's worried about other people, but there's this wish inside of me that I want him to feel good about himself, because people love him, they love him the way he is in his Nosferatu look. So I just wish he could see the way we, people who care about him, see him, and learn to love himself the way he is.
And you hug him with that thought. Meanwhile, Bea, you remained. You sit in Janina's room.
I think I've maybe moved back to my own room. But yes, I've sat and written down everything that occurred during the evening. Got my thoughts mostly together. Made a note that I need to check in and try and figure out who it is I'm working for at the moment. I made some notes about Antoni.
So you make all your notes. What's on your mind? How are you feeling? It's been an eventful night already.
It has. It's been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions. I think currently I'm very worried about Janina. I think it's sort of tempered the excitement and euphoria that I was experiencing earlier. And I think I need to have a more in-depth conversation with her about how she's feeling, what she's going through. But I figured we'd have some time later. I'm not. I think that the court meeting has me very concerned. I'm not sure that I necessarily had a preference towards who was prince, but I think that the Camarilla needs to be unified now more than ever, and the sort of breaking and cracking that's happening is probably massively to our detriment, given how dangerous everything is. So I think stressed. I'm feeling a bit all over the place, I guess. And so I'm sort of going back through my notes. I think I end up looking back at what happened around the time where Mr. Topolsky went to rescue Dominic, just to try and refresh my memory as to what mess happened there, and sort of read back over the last week or so.
Yeah.
And then eventually, sort of as I'm reading through that, I spot how I've been trying to make sense of Insertum's insights about not. Was it I think it was Insertum who suggested that I could not be in my body.
Yes, that was Insertum.
And so I decide that I will try and spend some time working on that, and see if I can make any further progress.
So you focus on doing that for some time. And how do you go about this? How are you approaching this task? What does not being in your body, not going somewhere in your body, evoke in Beth's mind?
That's fair. There's not a bathtub in the bathroom, is there? It's a shower.
It is it could be a bathtub.
Okay.
I'm kind of open to either, to be honest.
If there is a bathtub, in which case I think that I fill it with water. And end up stripping down and getting into it and just allowing myself to sort of float in the water, and focusing on the sort of weightlessness feeling. I think I'm also picturing the idea of my body not necessarily being a part of me, but more being a vessel that holds me. And just visualizing that, and just lying there with my eyes shut, focusing on the sensation.
Roll your perception and awareness with difficulty 9. Perception and awareness. Let me just double check that. Yes, okay. Perception and awareness.
Okay. Difficulty 9, you said?
Yes.
That is 110.
You have 110. So you don't quite step out of your body, but you do Also because it requires spending a willpower point, and I'm not going to make you do that.
Okay.
But you do start feeling like you could. You start feeling the separation of yourself from your body. And for the briefest moment, you get this feeling of looking at your body lying dead in the bathtub. And then you're back.
And I just kind of open my eyes while still lying in the water. And pause. And then sort of smile to myself, feeling like I've made some progress. And then proceed to get out of the tub and sort of clean up and dry off. Feeling like I've got a better understanding of what it is that I need to do. And put myself back together. Reapply makeup, etc.
And you put yourself back together. Meanwhile, Janina. You're hugging Dominic. He shakes his head when you say he's perfect, but he doesn't pull away from you.
I hold him for a bit longer. I know you're sad, but you should concentrate on Lucian and Diana and me, friends that you have here, and we are here for you, and you're safe. Oh, safe fish.
He nods his head, he looks at you. I know I should. Roll perception and empathy now. Difficulty 6.
For 5 successes.
5 successes, wow. Yeah, in that case, you easily see that as he says that he should, it's not that he doesn't agree, but there is certain distance there. Almost like he repeats it because he knows this is what he should say. And it's not quite that he doesn't feel anything for these people you mentioned, but he seems kind of distracted. He seems to be going through the motions.
If you ever want to talk about what happened, know that I'm here. And Bea's also here. She wanted to tell you that she sends her best regards, and she hopes that you're doing well.
He nods his head. Thank her.
I will.
And
Hope maybe next time she could visit as well. But you know her, she's very busy always.
I don't know her that well, perhaps because she's so busy.
Yeah.
And I stay away from most Camarilla matters.
Well, to be honest, I think that's for the better.
Yes, I suppose. I don't know how to tell you what happened. For a brief moment, I was myself again. For a brief moment, I recognized myself in the mirror. For a brief moment, my body, my face was what I remember when I think of me. And it's gone now, again.
I'm sorry that you have to suffer like this for a second time. But you're strong, and I know you can do anything. And you know it now too, because you got through it one time. You'll get through it again. And now you have more people that are here for you. you're not alone.
No, I suppose I'm not. He says, and you see there is gratitude there and warmth towards you. But you see also that there is something deeper there. As you're speaking, there is something he doesn't want to tell you and
How
some
did I win?
longing.
Okay, but one step at a time. I don't want to overwhelm him with questions. So I just pull out of the embrace and look at him and stroke his face again and kiss him on the forehead as I get up. Well, you know where to find me, and be sure that I'm gonna find you again in a few days to check up on you.
Please do. Did you get a chance to check in on Diana?
I did. I was speaking with her before the court, and she's worried about you. I think that's one of her worries, and the other thing is that she feels that she should be stronger than she was before, because she doesn't want to feel helpless as she did before. So that's her main motivation for training so excessively. But other than that, I didn't find anything that would make me too worried for her. But I'm gonna keep my eyes on her.
Thank you.
You both should spend more time together. She really misses spending more time with you.
She comes to see me between her trainings. I suppose I haven't been a very good friend lately.
No, you are a good friend. You just went through something traumatic, so it's understandable. And she is the same way, but I'm sure you will find ways to feel better with each other again and have fun. Maybe dance. I would like to see you dance again.
And you see at that there is some, like he's flattered, and there is a different longing now, a more positive one, almost anticipation. And then he says, I would like that. But then you get the feeling on instinct he looks towards a mirror and then looks at himself, and his face is just twisted in bitterness and sadness.
You're always beautiful to me.
Thank you, Janina. You have a very good heart.
Well, I just hope that you feel better and that you will find ways to enjoy your life that you have now back with the man you love.
And Janina, if you need to talk with somebody, I know you've also been through a lot.
I know I have to think about some things, but I promise that I'll come to talk to you when I feel more in a mood of talking about myself. And I give him a faint smile.
He smiles back.
I've been attacked.
Oh no. Dominic smiles back at you.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you to contemplate, and I hope you have a good rest of the night.
You too, Janina. Thank you for stopping by.
Of course, I love you. Have a good night. And I get up and slowly leave and close the door behind me.
You leave. Having spoken to Dominic, what is your impression of him?
that he said that he said about his looks. But other than that, I don't think I see anything else that I should be like worried about. I think it's just very hard for him to, especially when he like describe it, that it's like second time that he lost himself. So I understand that it must be hard for him. So I feel compassion and genuine hope that he will get better and find some kind of happiness in the state he is.
And where are you headed now?
What time is it?
There's still a little bit of time.
I don't think I'm in a mood for anyone else, so I think I will go back to my room and spend the quiet few hours there, depressed.
So you're not going to look for Diana to tell her about Dominic, leaving that for the next night?
I think I will leave it for the next.
Yeah.
I think I had enough socializing.
Absolutely, all right. And you start going back towards your room. Meanwhile, Bea, you get ready again. And not long after that, there is a knocking on your door.
I go and answer it.
And you see Antoni standing there.
I smile very widely at him.
He smiles at you and says, I managed to get away.
I'm glad. Do you want to come in?
Yes, sure, of course. He hesitates a little bit, but then he steps in.
I'll just give him a wider smile and move out the way so that he can enter the room.
He enters and he says, I was thinking where I could invite you to and didn't come up with a better place than my office.
That's okay.
But I'm happy to be a guest here.
As long as I get to enjoy your company, I'm happy either way. Should I roll for self-control to touch him?
Yes, yes. Difficulty 6.
Okay. 2 successes.
All right.
And I reach forward and I take his hand.
He takes your hand and then he, hesitating, but leans in to kiss you.
I will kiss him back. So
and then
this sort of there's still this quite strong novelty to it, but I'm happy to be close to him.
And eventually he moves a little bit away, but stays close to you, smiles at you. So, I'm sorry this is such a unsatisfactory date. I have nowhere to take you. I have nothing to offer you. I brought a deck of cards, though, if you would care to play.
I would love to. And as I said, all I need is your company.
Still, I hope we can go somewhere nice at some point.
That would be nice, but I'm not convinced I've ever actually been on a date. Certainly not since, well, maybe I was before my embrace, but I don't recall it, so. Well, I don't have any expectations, we'll put it that way.
I suppose that's my luck. And he starts dealing cards as he sits with you at the table in your room. And as he's dealing cards, he says, how have you been? We haven't spoken in so long.
busy, I guess. And I'm just thinking back on the notes that I've been taking and sort of hesitate for a moment. Pretty stressed. Not my best, but well, you've certainly improved my mood.
I'm glad I could do that. I'm afraid we live in stressful times.
We do. We do. And I sort of reach forward and squeeze his hand briefly.
He squeezes your hand back.
Things have been difficult and dangerous. But I'm trying to do more of the right thing. I'm worried about Janina.
Yes, so am I.
I checked in on her earlier, and she's gone to go speak to other friends as well, so I'm glad that she has a number of people to speak to, but
I'm very sorry to ask this, but I don't want her to do something regrettable. And
I'm going to inquire with her how she's doing in more depth tomorrow once some of the emotions have died down a bit. I was mostly trying to help her pick up the pieces tonight.
I understand.
So I pause, sort of thinking literally, but I don't add it. If I'll do my best to ensure that that doesn't come to pass, and I take out my notebook and I write it down.
As you're doing that, he says, I know Daniel. Well, Daniel spoke to her as well.
I'm glad.
He wasn't very forthcoming about how it went, so I didn't insist, but you understand, I have my duties and dark feelings.
I take his hand.
He squeezes your hand and pulls it a little bit closer, leans in a little bit closer. I'm sorry, we end up talking about work and worries.
It's very closely tied to our lives. It makes sense to me.
Yes, it does. And just worrying, you'll find I'm not the most entertaining of men.
I put my hand on his cheek. I'm not convinced I'm the most entertaining of women, so.
Well, in that case, maybe we have a chance, he says, smiling very broadly, very happily.
And I sort of lean forward and rest my head on his shoulder. To be honest, I'm glad that we both have an understanding about duty and responsibility. I feel like I'm constantly butting heads with Janina about it, so.
Janina, she's a bruja.
Yeah.
And a very stubborn one at that.
Yes.
I understand, and I'm glad you're there to somewhat keep her in line.
Yes.
I wouldn't want her to. He kind of looks away for a moment, looks back to you, to get in a situation where I will have to intervene in an official capacity.
I really hope you won't have to as well, but I understand that duty comes first. And I'm just kind of thinking back through my notes, and thinking about how Janina back-talked the prince and how I've already had to talk her out of a few reckless things and failed to talk her out of several others. So I know I need to be more present for her, but anyway, I'll check in on her tomorrow.
Yes, we don't have to discuss her right now. This was supposed to be time for us.
Of course, yes. And I lean back, purposefully avoiding looking at his cards.
He seems to have almost forgotten about the cards for a moment, but now
I think
he
I
kind
had
of
as well.
looks back and starts playing without much thinking about the move he's making at all.
Yeah, I'm not convinced this is my best game.
But enough about Janina. I also wanted to speak about you. I know you've been given a dangerous task.
It's more that I volunteered for it, but yes.
Do you still want to do this? I can talk to the prince. I can get you out of it if needed.
And I pause, a little surprised, and then squeeze his hand again. Thank you, but if there's something that I can do to help give us more of a chance, then I need to take that opportunity. And, well, and the sort of, I think my hand sort of reaches up to the color of my shirt where I can feel sort of ache of the, not scarring, but the wound that's still carved into my chest. I'm in a unique position at the moment, I suppose. And as much as it scares me, I think if I shied away from it out of concern for my own safety, I've already struggled to look at myself in the mirror many times. I don't want to add another reason to that.
I understand. Well, if at any point you feel it's become too unsafe, or if there's something you're worried about, I can help.
And I give him a smile. Thank you.
He smiles back at you.
And I sort of swallow, thinking back on my notes regarding the wedding and the things that I've done. And the things that I haven't done. And then there's the memory. I can't remember who, but I have a memory of a claw in my chest. And a feeling of a responsibility. I sort of end up sort of gripping the front of my shirt a little bit tighter.
He reaches towards you and puts a hand on your hand. Let's just try to relax. Enough talking about work.
Of course. I'll try.
Come on, look at this absolutely terrible move I just made.
And I examine the cards that he's laid out.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking about what he was doing at all.
I guess I will play something slightly better now that he's pointed it out.
And you start playing cards with him, and he definitely tries to distract you and cheer you up with conversation, avoiding the topic of work.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling during that play?
I am enjoying having him close and enjoying feeling both like I have some support and someone that cares. And I'm enjoying holding his hand, even though there's that sort of crawling sensation that I often get with physical touch, with the underlying fear that somehow the pleasant, soft touch is going to turn into pain. But when I start feeling that sort of building up, I sort of remind myself that he doesn't want to hurt me. And there's also this sort of yearning of wanting to be even closer to him, but almost like I can't physically get close enough. I think subconsciously during the course of the game, I end up sort of moving to the point where our knees are touching.
And he doesn't move away, just smiles at you. And you're playing. Sorry?
Yeah, and it's definitely not my best game.
It's not his either. Good. Meanwhile, Janina, as you are walking back to your room, roll your perception and alertness, please.
If Michael lets me, I will.
Difficulty 7. Let's hope Michael lets you.
Yes, he's lying on my sheet. Sorry, can you please repeat?
Perception and alertness.
Perception. I don't like the sound of that. What was the difficulty?
7.
Okay, I have 5 successes. I'm rolling so good tonight.
Wow, then you definitely hear as you're like walking down the stairs and through a corridor, behind one of the doors that you think lead to one of the other staircases, you hear crying, and it's quite intense weeping.
And I'm just rolling out. I don't care. I'm not gonna involve. No, I'm joking. Janina
You
will get
can.
involved.
That is a viable option to ignore.
No, I know, but Janina wouldn't ignore it. Yeah. I thought it was just funny. Just not today. Okay. Well, I slow down and I follow the crying noise.
Oh, it's just behind the door.
Okay. Is it like the door?
The door is shut. You don't know if it's locked. You don't think it would be because it just leads to. You think like if you wanted to go upstairs, to the attic, you could go into that staircase and further up.
Okay, in that case, I will slowly knock on the door and.
You hear the pause in the crying.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
Do I recognize the noise?
Yes.
The voice.
It's Nina.
Okay, just a moment. There's too many Toreadors.
Nina is the
Isidore's.
One who... Yes, Isidore's partner. Okay. Yes. At whom he looked very angrily during the court.
Oh, I see. I sense a breakup. Okay, I'm going to. When I recognize that it's Nina, then I slowly lean on the door. Can I come in?
Yes, you can come in, yes.
And I slowly open the door.
And you see that she's sitting not quite just outside the door, a bit further up, like a few steps up on the staircase. She's still wearing her little black dress and her high heels, her necklace of green stones. But she's been crying. She's now trying to wipe away some of her tears and put herself back together. But you see that her eyeliner and mascara are mixed with the red of her tears now.
Okay, I'm just give her a sad smile and I sit next to her.
I'm sorry.
Do you want to talk about this?
I don't know if there's much to say.
What happened? Why are you crying?
I'm sorry. I don't want to.
No, I mean, I don't want to impose. Everyone seems to have been having a hard time tonight or lately. And I just thought, I don't know, that it's better to have more friends and talk to more people about your feelings. And I'm here for you.
Your charisma and persuasion.
Okay, charisma and persuasion.
Difficulty 7.
3 successes, 2 7s and 1 8.
So she listens to you, and you see like she's kind of taking it in, but also very much caught up in her own thoughts. And she nods her head. I think I've messed everything up.
You mean with Isidore?
With Isidore, with my clan, with my whole life.
Do you want to talk about what exactly happened? Or do you want me just to comfort you?
I don't want you to think less of me.
Of course I
And you'd
will.
be right to.
Oh, why would I think less of you? Have you met me?
I have, briefly.
I made
You're
a lot of mistakes.
reckless, but you're honest in your recklessness, at least.
Well, I'm sure that whatever you did, it's not the end of the world. And if it was a mistake, I'm sure you can fix it. And if
I don't think I had a choice, but I should have told Isidore.
well, what did you do? It's okay. I'm not gonna tell anyone if
My primogen asked me to. I can't, Janina, I can't.
okay, I'm not gonna pry it off the view. It's okay, but I know that sometimes we do things we aren't proud of. I definitely did some of those things too. It's okay.
You betrayed someone you really love.
I don't think betray is the correct word, but I fucked up so many times. And people who love me, they still somehow care about me.
I don't know if he will forgive me. The way he looked at me. For a moment, I thought he would jump out from there and kill me.
Well, since I don't know what exactly did you do, I'm not sure. But if his reaction was warranted, but
She kind of gets this determined look on her face and looks to you and says, my primogen asked me to influence him.
to do what? To
influence him against the prince.
But But he voted for her anyway.
Yes, he did. And now,
So maybe it didn't work.
no, it didn't work. That's part of the. Well, it's not.
Okay, so let me get it straight. Did you influence him during the court or before?
Before. I didn't do anything during the court, but before, for so long. Mihai was telling me what to do, and I didn't know how I could refuse.
Oh, okay, I see. I see that now. So now Isidore is mad at you because you did it, and the Toreadors are mad at you because they think you didn't or didn't do it right.
Well, I didn't succeed. Does anything else really matter?
Well, I think it was wrong from your primogen to ask you to do this. If he wanted, he should have done it himself. I'm sure it would maybe be more successful.
She kind of laughs at that, this bitter laugh. Janina, please tell me you're not that naive.
Well, I guess I'm not, but you know, I don't have the best impression of your primogen.
No, of course not, but...
So I'm quite prejudiced against him anyway, so...
Well, yeah, I get that, but I know it was wrong.
But well, I'm not sure if you can fix it with the primogen, but I'm sure you can fix it with Isidore. I'm sure he...
And I can't not fix it with my primogen, Janina.
Well,
I...
Maybe one day we get lucky and he gets thrown off and we get a new primogen for your clan.
She kind of looks in disbelief and laughs and shakes her head.
I'm just...
Oh my God.
I'm being kind of deliberately like this because
Yeah.
I want to like take her mind off things and make her worry about me.
Well, she looks stunned by the sheer audacity of what you're saying, but not necessarily amused.
Okay, well, at least she's like thinking about something else for a moment. I have my methods, you know.
You do. Janina, you're truly one of the kind.
Do you want me to talk to Isidore?
Well, perception and empathy. Difficulty 6. She can't really hide anything at the moment, but let's see if you pick up on it.
Well, one success. I guess I'm getting out of luck.
But still, that's enough to see, as you're making this suggestion, to see this sudden hope. And you see that she really wants this for a moment. And then there is this doubt setting in and fear and worry. And then she says, I don't know if this is a good idea.
Well, he's going through tough times right now, so, you know, maybe he's extra angry right now because he lost Zygmunt and now this, and maybe he probably feels betrayed, but I'm gonna talk to him. I want to talk to him about other things anyway.
Thank you.
I will try. I'm not promise anything, but at least I'm gonna talk to him and I will then tell you how things are and how he's doing. But I'm sure if he still loves you somewhere deep inside, he's gonna forgive you. Maybe not right now, but after a while.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Well, you know me.
I
Trouble
know
follows me, and
that Nastya
yes,
is
I
your
just shake my
girlfriend,
head.
right?
She was, yeah. I guess I have been betrayed by her as well, but I'm not sure. I'm just not mad at her, you know. I'm just sad because I'm not sure how that it was deliberate, you know. Like she didn't remember. I know that she loved me. I just don't know what to think. I have so much going on inside of me, and I still worry about her, you know.
She nods her head. Well, if that means anything, I'm the prime example that you can betray someone you love so deeply. Maybe
Yes.
somewhere she's feeling as shitty as I am and hoping you'll take her back.
Well, I would take her back, but the problem is Camarilla will never take her back.
No, they won't.
They want
I'm
to kill
sorry.
her. Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
Well, right now I will try to concentrate on things around here that I can hopefully fix for someone else, at least. I don't know what else to do right now. It gives me something to do.
Well, I hope it will help you keep going.
And I hope your situation will get better and you get back into good graces of Lord Mikhail.
Yeah, let's hope for that.
Yeah. Or we can always hope Sabat will take him.
She just laughs. This kind of
But
both
I feel like
amused and desperate and bitter laugh.
But I feel like they would return him. Not even them would want him.
And she just shakes her head, but now she's laughing through her tears and despair.
I pat her on the back and get up and take care of yourself. I'll let you know when I talked with Isidore.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Yeah. And I continue on my way back.
Yes, and you head back towards your room. Meanwhile, there. You're playing cards with Antoni, and it is not your best game. You're both making very silly mistakes. And eventually there is a knocking on the door, very quiet one, and then, almost as if someone thought better, another, more decisive one. And then you hear a voice, a woman's voice, saying, excuse me, is Mr. Bieletsky here?
I look to him.
Mr. Bieletsky looks to you, says duty calls, I suppose.
Of course. And I'll just lean forward and give him a quick kiss.
And he kisses you quickly and walks towards the door. And you see a woman, a blonde woman looking to be in her 20s, wearing a brown skirt and white shirt, very neatly, if simply dressed, comes in, and she's holding a small black box with a black ribbon tied around it. And she's looking kind of confused and looking like immediately at Antoni. Mr. Bieletsky, well, I was called to the reception to check in with you. This just came in for the Prince of Warsaw. And he kind of looks to you. And he seems to not mind if you
Okay.
are around. He's kind of still standing in the
That's
doorway.
fine.
Well, let's check it out. And he opens the box. Are you coming closer to see, or are you staying?
I will sort of say to him, do you want me to check to see if it's safe?
Well, you say it as he's opening it.
Okay.
And then kind of, don't think there's anything. It's very light. It is very small as
Okay,
well.
fair enough.
And he just opens it.
Okay.
And you see inside is a red flower composed of several stems looking like tendrils almost, and each of the stems is covered with red small petals forming very small flowers, and this whole flower, dried, is lying in a box.
Okay. I don't recognize what type of flower it is, I suppose.
I don't think you would, to be honest.
Cool.
And Antonio looks at it very confused. I have looks to you, looks to the woman. Thank you, Joanna. I appreciate you bringing this to me. I'm not quite sure what to make out of it.
Could I touch the side of the box and activate Spirit's Touch?
Yes, absolutely. Difficulty for that would be 6.
6, and that is perception.
Perception and empathy. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's fine. I should really know my own skill set at this point, but here we are. Perception, empathy, and difficulty 6, did you say?
Difficulty 6, yes.
Okay. That's 6 successes.
6 successes. So you see the box as you're looking at it in Antoni's hand. And you see it passing through Joanna's hand before, and hands of Mariusz at the reception. And before that, someone you don't know. A man looking to be in his 20s. And before his hands, the box is carried through the night, through the snow that is falling outside in Warsaw. And you see another hand that it passed from to the man, and you see the hand of the young man freeze for a moment before they take the box and then start walking with it. And before that, the box is, you can't quite see the hands that it was in before, but you see the darkness that surrounded it, and the darkness moves wrapped around it, holding the box, carefully holding the dried flower. And you, how many successes you had?
6.
Then roll your perception and occult as you're looking at that. With difficulty 8.
Cool. I take it insightful is not going to come into this.
No, not quite.
Okay. 4 successes.
4 successes. So you see the darkness carefully handling the flower, putting it carefully in the box not to damage its dried petals. And you get the sense of this anticipation of satisfaction, of certain curiosity, certain was wanting to find something out, certain appetite. And then you see the darkness swirl around the flower. You see that it is held by darkness, surrounded only by it, and its petals begin to drip with blood. The darkness around it starts dripping with blood. And some blood splatters across your eyes, blurring your vision. And you hear feet running. You hear shouting, some celebratory, some angry, some terrified. You hear laughter, the joyous, joyous laughter that awakens some memories in you, disturbing ones, but you can't quite place them. And you feel this overwhelming certainty and satisfaction. And desire for something, anticipation for something overwhelming you as you are looking at the flower.
I think my hand sort of jerks back from the box quite suddenly.
Antonio looks to you. Belle, are you all right?
I'm all right. And I'm thinking back over the notes that I was reading over earlier. The sender of this, I couldn't see their face. There were hands shrouded in darkness. He was full of they were full of anticipation, satisfaction, and a curiosity. The darkness, I've seen it several times before. It seems to connect to the Sabbats. It was, and I suddenly feel this guilt as I realize that I was seeing it tied around Zygmunt and Nastia, and I didn't know what it meant. And I think my face sort of crumples, and then I say as such.
Antoni puts a hand on your shoulder. It's all right, Bea. I think I need to take this to Lucian and consult him. You want to come with me?
Of course. I give him a slightly more confident smile.
And he thanks the woman, Joanna, who brought it, and tells her that she may go now and he will find her later. And he pulls this polite mask on as he is saying that. And then he starts walking. And he seems to be pretty confident of where he's headed.
Okay.
And he starts heading up the stairs, taking one of the stairwells leading to the attic. He is holding your hand by the shoulder as he's walking. You see that he has definitely tensed up. He's holding this box in his hand. He looks to you. You don't think there's certain concern and worry. You're pretty sure it relates to what you just conveyed to him.
That's fair. I think one of my hands has sort of come to rest at the sort of small of his back. And I'm staying relatively close to him, but I'm walking as quickly as him.
And as you are nearing the attic, you start hearing the sound of metal hitting metal, and quick footsteps and jumping and movement.
Okay.
And Antoni seems completely unconcerned, and he just keeps walking. And he walks through the door to the attic. And there you see Lucian Topolsky, the former sheriff of the city, with his saber in his hand, dressed in loose trousers and white shirt, and his child Diana, still wearing the evening dress she was wearing earlier, with her violin case lying open to the side of the room, but no violin in it. and she's also holding a saber. And they were moving very fast. She seems very focused, Lucian very casual. And they stop as Antoni enters. Diana, in this kind of anticipation and focus, not taking her eyes off her sire. Lucian relaxes and lowers his blade, looks to Diana. Excuse me, Diana. I'm afraid the sheriff of Warsaw wants to speak to me. Antoni, just kind of very casually walks in. I'm sorry for intruding. This has been delivered to the prince, and well, you have better chance of understanding it than I do. I only have Miss Wozniak's insight, which revealed it came from the Sabbat. And, well, you can deduce what feeling that elicits in me. Lucian looks kind of curious when Antoni starts speaking. But he comes up and then takes a look at the box. He looks at the note and then looks inside. Full perception and empathy.
Okay. Wait, there was a note?
Yeah, it just says to the Prince of Warsaw.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Perception and empathy. Sorry, was it difficulty 6?
Difficulty 6.
Insightful or hidden pain applying here?
Yes.
Oh, okay then. 9 successes.
Right. So you do see that at first he was pretty relaxed. Speaking to Antoni, he's not at all surprised that Antoni is coming to him with something. Then when Antoni was speaking, he started getting a bit worried. There was this guilt and shame that you see at the mention of the prince. And when he takes the look inside the box, you see the immediate recognition and immediate concern, and this feeling of guilt just spikes and of worry. And his face doesn't show it, but you see that he is seriously worried and considering many things. And because he had so many successes and he didn't roll super well,
oh dear.
When he looks to Antoni, you see there is this feeling of almost feeling sorry for him in a way, and again feeling responsible, feeling guilty, feeling like, well, not quite wanting to protect, but feeling like he failed him in some way.
Right.
And Antoni asks, do you know what this is? Lucian looks to him, nods his head. Yes, my friend. This is the flower of amaranth. You see that Antoni is very confused, doesn't understand. Lucian just, with certain urgency, you see that he almost feels like he wanted to explain and then he can't bring himself to, he can't quite. He just says, take it to the prince immediately. She needs to know. And you see again that Lucian feels almost like he wants to take over in a way, but he doesn't. He controls it. And just looks to Antoni. Just go right now. She will see you. And Antoni just nods his head and closes this box. Looks to you, Bea. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go.
I understand.
And he leans and gives you a kiss.
I kiss him back.
and then starts walking away at a quick pace.
I will sort of nod to Mr. Topolsky and to his child and wish them a good evening. I guess I'll follow out after Antony. And as I'm following him down the stairs, if you need me to share any of my insights, I can do so, but I'm sure you're more than capable of.
I'll convey what you told me, and I will tell the prince that you offered to have a deeper look.
Of course.
I don't really understand what this is about.
As we're sort of away from the room in terms of like earshot, Mr. Topolsky felt guilty and responsible at looking at it, and almost like he failed you.
Perception and empathy on Antonia. Why not?
My God.
Is it again millions
I
successes?
think it's something ludicrous, yeah.
Okay. Tell me.
Well, I've got 2 10s and another 4 successes on top of it, so somewhere between 6 and
8.
something.
Yeah, that would be 8. So you do see very clearly that he knows this about Lucian.
Okay.
And it's not that he disagrees.
Okay.
He doesn't, he feels, you do see that he feels that he can't show it. He can't express it. It wouldn't do. But he is angry somewhere deeply at Lucian. And he also feels that Lucian has failed. And you do see that he is feeling a bit out of his depth as well on this many successes, and that he wants to get to the prince and deal with this, but he feels certain shame he had to go and consult it. He still doesn't understand it, and he feels very overwhelmed by it, but is determined not to show it and to just keep going and do his duty.
Okay. As we're walking, I take his hand and squeeze it very tightly. And I try and give him a smile. It's warm, even if it's not necessarily happy.
And he smiles back at you, and you do see that he appreciates it. And he appreciates your company. And you walk him as far as you can. And
yes. And I will say to him that I'll be in my room if he has time or anything. He's always welcome there.
If I manage, I need to see what that will entail.
I understand. Good luck.
He just smiles and nods, and you see he's grateful. And he walks away, and you start walking towards your room. And I think this is a good time for a break. I'm sorry it took a bit longer than I expected, but we will be back in about 15 minutes. Please stay with us to continue the story of Bea and Janina. I will see you after the break.
Bye.
Cat.
And welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. And let's continue with the story of Bea and Janina. So Janina, you head to your room.
Yes, and there I just probably look at the broken bed and sit on the other bed. You're so good.
You sit there
Yes,
And what's on your mind?
Well, I think I play through in my head all of the problems of other people I've encountered today, just to push. They have to be fighting right now. And just to push my own problems with Nastya. And so I try to think about who I want to talk tomorrow, and I want to talk to Isidore, and then I want to go back to Mr. Potocki, as I want to see if there's more blood to take for Zoya.
All right, yes.
And maybe check on Hannah. I just want to keep myself busy. And there's part of me that wants to avoid talking to Bea about, because I know she'll ask me about stuff about Nastya, and I just want to keep myself busy.
So you plan to have a lot of plans?
Yes.
To avoid speaking to her. All right.
Well, not completely speaking, but not have enough time for us to delve into this kind of topic.
All right. And you sit there thinking about the things you can do the next night to keep yourself busy. Meanwhile, Bea, you left Antony as he headed to see the prince, feeling still very uncertain, somewhat comforted by just your company, but clearly unsure what to expect.
I think I sort of end up watching and walk away, and with just wanting to almost send my presence with him, but it's not possible or sensible. So I guess I probably head back to the rooms. I maybe sort of pause outside Janina's room and listen to hear if I can hear any sounds of her, just in case she's come back.
You probably can hear someone being inside.
Okay. In which case I'll knock.
So Janina, there's a knocking on the door, interrupting your train of thoughts. You're on mute, Dolores.
Okay. There's a bit of a pause, and after a moment, who is this?
It's Bea.
Oh, come in, of course.
Come in, and come and sit down. Did you manage to speak to?
Yes, I did. We had a nice talk, and he says hi back. Well, he's sad, but you know how it goes. I try to lift up his spirit, but I guess it will take a bit more time for him to settle in.
That's fair. I'm glad that he has you.
I'm glad I have him too. Well, all of you, my friends, sister. What about you? How did you spend your evening? Have you met with your boyfriend?
Yes.
And there's a genuine smile on my face.
Yes.
Which
was nice. Unfortunately, the night doesn't stop, so he has had to go and speak with the prince quite.
Oh, he's a
suddenly.
busy man.
Yes, but
you both are busy. You're perfect for each other. Power couple.
Well, we do at least understand each other in that regard.
That's nice.
But
is he doing okay?
I think he'll be okay. It's just it's a lot of responsibility, and well, maybe it's a bit soon for him, but I believe in him.
if you believe in him, I believe in him too. Well, he's a good man, and
Yes.
that's what counts to me. I feel really bad for what I put him through when we met.
When we met?
When he met me, unfortunately. It's okay. You probably don't remember, and I think it's better for you not to. It was a mess. But
good.
I think he forgave me, so I'm glad.
I think he's had to forgive the both of us for a few things, so.
I guess he has a forgiving heart.
Well, I'd rather not test it too much.
Well, yeah, don't test it.
No.
And I hope you will keep each other happy.
I hope so too. And I'd like to roll to see if I can touch Janina.
Difficulty 6.
But it's so touchy lately.
Wait. 3 successes.
Yes,
So
no
I lean
problem.
forward and squeeze Janina's hand.
I squeeze it back.
Are you planning on doing much
You mean tonight? No.
tonight, tomorrow?
Well, yeah, tomorrow I have some plans. I want to speak with Isidore about some things. I want
Yes,
to make
your
sure
new
he's...
primogen.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I should congratulate him or pity him.
Both?
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I want to make sure he's doing okay. And I think he's the only person that Zygmunt cared about as much as he did. And I just want to make sure he's doing okay. And I also want to go back to the hospital where I'm working and check on the blood and see if I can bring more for Zoya. And I might also check up on Hannah.
Okay.
I think I should offer her another sip of blood to help heal her faster, because she still can't walk very well and she's in pain, and I don't know, but I don't want to impose, so I will offer it to her and we'll see if she wants to heal naturally or if she wants to speed up the process. So yeah, that's my plans. What about yours?
Oh, I'll be needing to try and find Mrs. Strovska, Cornelia.
Oh yeah.
Try and figure out who I'm reporting to.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe it could be her.
I don't really mind so long as the work can still get done.
You would you? I mean, if it was me, I would probably hoping that all this work just drops.
Of course you would. I say and I laugh, and I think I sort of sit back and a little more casually on the bed. I'm unsurprised entirely.
Yeah, I guess my work ethics aren't as strong as yours.
I don't know. I like having things to do.
Me too, but I like more like, I don't know, do things for myself, like for people, because I want to, not because someone asks me to. I don't know if it makes sense.
I guess I can see how it makes sense. For me, because I don't know, like
Like, I just like to help people, not like causes. If that explains it more.
I suppose that's a cause in and of itself.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, helping people is sometimes like easier because you see the results like right away.
I guess because I struggle to remember things, it's
Yeah, I understand. Having long-term goal is
it's
more,
hard. And I forget my own problems so much. But when it's for someone else and I've got that sort of external, not pressure, but prompt, then it gives me a purpose. And
I understand.
I want to do work for the Camarilla because, well, I don't remember ever feeling safe. And, you know, I can't remember what it was like before the war, before all of this. I don't know if I've ever felt safe, but I really want to feel that one day, and I want for all of us to feel that one day. And if I can do work towards that, then
Oh, I think that's noble. I just hope you get assigned to not dangerous things.
I try and control my expression quite intensely at that point.
How are you feeling? I mean, about Felicia not being here.
I'm so worried about her.
I know. I wish there was something more we could do. But,
I don't understand why she's gone there.
well, maybe she has her own things to deal with. And, you know, I mean, what happened with her friend Estera? I think maybe it hurt her really bad. And she needed answers, you know, because she never got to really, I mean, talk to her for the way she wanted to, you know.
Estera was my fault.
It wasn't your fault.
I don't remember what happened, but I remember that it was my fault, Janina.
At this, I just stroke her hair. Well, we all make mistakes and hurt people we love. It doesn't mean we intended for it to happen like this. I think when this happens, we always think we're doing good and we can see the other things that it can end up badly. Especially for you, because you have this strong sense of that you believe that the elders are doing things that are wise and for the good of Camarilla. So
I believe that some of them are doing things more for the Camarilla than others.
yeah, but you know,
I like to hope I'm not completely naive.
Don't be too hard on yourself. I'm sure that even if it was your fault, you thought you were doing good thing, and you just miscalculated. It happens.
And I don't think that it necessarily takes it back or makes it less bad.
I know. But
oh, well.
Let's not lose hope for Felicia. Okay? She might get out of there like we did. Or maybe she's on a mission and she's playing all of them. You know, she's sneaky like that.
I continue to control my expression quite intensely.
And what are you feeling?
I don't necessarily believe that that's what Felicia is up to, and I'm also aware of what it is that I'm up to, having been reading my notes quite recently. And so I'm trying to keep myself composed because,
well, in that case, all your subterfuge and self-control and Janina, your perception and empathy, difficulty 6. Let's see how well that's working out.
woohoo!
What was the difficulty?
6.
Okay, I have 3 successes.
I'm trying to do maths, and I'm not good at it.
Is it more than 3?
No, I haven't even. I was trying to work out how many dice I had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't get that far. Sorry, difficulty 6.
No,
you said.
yes.
2, 4, 5 minus
Yeah.
1 is 4. 4 successes.
So yes, you control your expression.
Okay.
You don't reveal any of that.
Anyway. Do you want to talk about?
Not really. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. I have to process a lot of it, but don't worry. I'm not gonna do anything stupid tomorrow. I have my errands and I will keep myself busy from doing stupid things. To be honest, I don't even know what stupid I would do anyway. So I just will concentrate on some useful things for the people I care about and have responsibility for.
Okay.
What about you? What are your plans tomorrow?
Like I said, check in, find out who I'm working for.
Yeah, all right. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just worrying and fussing over you.
And I like stroke her hair and you're being
That's
such a good big sister.
I'll lean forward and give her a hug. Sorry.
No, you give her a hug, and I have to ask, Janina, when you say you're not gonna do anything stupid and you want to distract yourself from it.
She did specify tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow.
But is there some deeper thought that later, that after that you might? Is there some plan beginning to form, or is it that you don't know at the moment
I think
what you're going
this
to
yet
do?
I haven't. Yes,
Yeah.
I think I don't know because I haven't allowed myself to think about this much. I'm trying to procrastinate because I'm too emotional. I
Makes
recognize
sense. Yeah.
that it's too fresh that I'm trying just to make it through tomorrow, and after I calm down a bit, I will probably try to start think about the plan, but not for now. I'm just trying to be clean.
All right. And Bea hugs you.
Mm.
And you start feeling kind of tired now. You know the dawn is approaching.
I would offer you to stay here, but there's only one bed.
Okay.
Because I'm a monster.
No, you're just emotional. And I stand up and sort of stroke through your hair, and I'll give you some space anyway. But
thank you.
If you need me,
I know where to find you.
Take care.
Stay safe.
You too.
We'll catch up tomorrow.
Yes. And I head back through to my room.
And I just lay down on the other bed and just try to wait for the dead sleep to come.
And it does, eventually. And you fall asleep. And you will return to your room. And also get ready for bed, or is there anything else you want to do in this last moment? Any preparations?
I just write up my notes once I'm in my night dress. And yeah, just prepare for sleep.
And what's on your mind as you're going to sleep?
Antonia and Janina.
And with thoughts of Antonia and Janina.
Not
you fall
Felicia.
asleep.
A bit of Felicia as well.
A bit of Felicia as well. And you fall asleep with that. And you can both regain a point of willpower.
Don't say that.
And
I think.
you can both lose blood for the night.
But at least I'm still on 7, so it's not.
And I'm going to ask Bea for her nightmares roll.
Oh shoot.
Yay!
My 2 dice. What's the difficulty?
7.
Oh, that is a 7. Thank God, I thought that was a 1. Okay, so that is 1 success.
Oh, that's way better. Okay.
Yeah,
For you.
I thought it was a bot.
For Bea, yes. All right then. Then you don't have nightmares that night. Janina, you wake up in your room. You notice that the other bed is broken.
Yeah, so it wasn't a nightmare. I think my gaze lingers for a moment on the bed, and I think about the court and what happened, and all of the discussions I had with other kindred. And there's a bit of dread when I think about Nastya and the blood hunt that has been declared on her. But I try to push it aside, remind myself the things that I wanted to do to keep myself busy. And so I think I will start to try and find Isidore.
Where do you go to find him? Do you go to his
To
room?
Zoya.
To Zoya.
I think I will first try to see Zoya's room.
Well, they were both staying there at least the last time you knew.
But now he has been
that.
promoted.
Well, but you head there, and you get there very easily. You are outside the door.
I will knock.
You hear footsteps. And Isidore, in fact, opens the door. He is wearing a white shirt. He looks like he, recently got up, fairly recently, just got ready and dressed. His hair is a little bit disheveled still. Like you caught him in train of just arranging them. But he looks at you. Janina.
Oh, good evening, Isidore, or should I say Mr. Primogen? And I give
Isidore will be enough.
I know, I'm just teasing you.
Oh, just about. Zoya's still sleeping. And he steps out into the corridor and closes the door.
I'm sorry, I hope you're not busy, or I don't want to take your
You're right. I will be busy for,
I'm sorry.
Foreseeable future, I suppose. It had to be this way.
I'm sorry, but if it's any consolation, I don't think there's anyone else Zygmunt would want in this position.
I know.
I'm sure you're going to do good and mess things a bit, our way.
Your faith in me is astounding.
No, I mean, just
be a
show
disruptive influence.
Yes.
I know that's what, at least the Tremere thinks of me. I see that on his face.
Yeah, well, I guess he's still bitter about not getting to be the sheriff.
I don't think it's as simple as that.
Probably not, but I like to simplify.
You wouldn't make a very good primogen then.
Yeah, please just no. But you will do great. But
I
that's
hope
not
so.
why I came. I mean, congrats. Or sorry, I'm not sure. Guess bit of both.
I'm just doing what needs to be done, Janina.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing with you.
I would prefer my sire to still be there. And
I
me
would too.
being angry at him for being there as the primogen.
Yeah.
But that's over.
I know. I'm sorry. But that's not why I wanted to see how you're doing, and how Zoya's doing. Is she doing better?
She's improved somewhat. She doesn't seem to be deteriorating anymore.
That's good. I plan to try and get her more blood at my hospital today.
You.
And I look around. Are we alone at the corridor?
Yeah, it's like this is the room.
Okay.
It's in a bit different section. It's more in like downstairs basement sort of area, so it's not very frequented.
Okay. Well, I met Nina yesterday, and
you see that at the mention of Nina, there's this flash of anger in his face.
I know what she did, and I know that you're angry. I just, how her primogen is. He's kind of.
Oh yes, I know. I know him very well.
I know that you feel betrayed, and I know she hurt you. But I don't. It's not like she asked me to come here and plead for you to forgive her. No, I offered myself because I guess
because she's scared that now I didn't do as they wanted to play me, and her primogen will not protect her, and she thinks she can get herself a bruja.
No, I think she's genuinely upset that she betrayed you. She was just scared and stupid. Sometimes we are so caught up with. I mean, I don't know how I would react in her position, but yes, I know she should have at least told you, and maybe told you to play along at least. It wasn't
I
fair
would
to you.
not have played along, you know that.
I know, but I have been recently betrayed as well by someone I loved, and it was, I guess, different because I genuinely think she didn't remember what she had done, that she was about. But I still want to know her side of story, and I want to, I guess, give her a chance to explain and to prove that her feelings for me were genuine. And I think you should give Nina the same chance. At least talk to her.
Well, charisma and persuasion
Okay.
With difficulty, I would
I will
say
spend a willpower.
8 on this. You're doing well, but he is very angry.
Okay. What was the difficulty? Sorry, I was.
8.
Okay, then I have. Wow, 4 successes plus 1 from willpower, so 5.
5 successes. Then he listens to you. And at first he says, still clearly fixated on your mention of Nastya, I hope you will get your chance to hear an explanation.
Thank you.
I know this is difficult for you,
It really is.
although I can't share your feelings towards her, and I'm sure you'll understand.
I do understand, but at least you have Nina here, and she's not been declared to be killed, so you can talk to her and have a discussion before you just push her aside. And
I know. You're right, of course. She's
just scared, and her primogen is really terrifying, especially to someone. I mean, she had a reason to be with anarchs. She wanted, and when she got back, I guess she wanted to prove herself and to belong with her clan.
Nina was never really an anarch by choice. We found her in the city.
Yeah,
she was lost.
I think she mentioned this, but you know.
But you're right, of course, that
just give her a chance.
Fucking asshole would have, well, done all sorts of things if she refused.
Well,
and you see now anger again in his face, but you feel like it's not directed at Nina anymore.
Well, that's a progress. I'm helping people.
I would say I'm gonna go and break his neck, but I suppose I can't do that sort of stuff anymore.
Yeah, you can, but you know, I'm imagining Sabat coming for him.
It's gonna be the weirdest roll. So Isidore looks to you, and there is this, like, first this anger, and then he controls himself and thinks and says, well, that is a nice image, but it would probably be for the worst for all of us.
Yeah, I know, but I can imagine it, you know. That doesn't hurt anyone.
Well, whatever makes you feel better. But you know, be careful, because he can tell what you think.
Yeah, I try to stay as far away from him as it's possible.
Of course, I don't suppose he would.
I don't think
you know, you can think whatever you want.
Important enough for him to try, and I think he just ignores me lately, so let's hope I'll keep it that way.
Keep it that way, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna go, but please just talk to Nina and work things out. Maybe you can trust her anymore, but at least you'll get a closure and there won't be this anger inside of you.
I'll talk to her. Thank you.
Thank you as well. I care about you and her. I mean, you're good people.
I like to think so.
Good luck with your new job. I'll keep you in my prayers.
Please do. And Janina, if there's something going on with you, let me know, okay?
I will. I would try to be as open with you as I was with Zygmunt.
I can protect us now to some extent,
I know.
but I need to know.
I know. I promise. I will keep you informed. If anything crosses my mind about the whole Nastya thing. We have to stick together. It's what Zygmunt would have wanted.
And you see this pain in his face and some regret. And then he just says, yes, he would have wanted that.
Stay safe, and I see myself out.
Take care, Janina.
I will.
And you leave.
I go past the Elysium and I just glance if Nina's there.
And we'll come to you. Okay. Meanwhile, Vea, you wake up. You slept peacefully. You feel a little more rested.
Sort of an odd feeling of relief that I'm not completely exhausted or haunted by some dark dream. And I proceed to go through my usual evening ritual of getting ready. And have a sort of glance at my journal whilst I'm brushing my hair and suddenly remember a few things.
Yes.
There's a brief moment where I think, like, as I'm sort of holding the journal, there's sort of a bit of a giggle, and I'm sort of holding the journal to my chest. But I see on my tasks that I need to check with Janina. So once I'm ready, I will go to her room and inevitably find that she's not there.
She's not there.
Sigh. But I have a note that she said she wouldn't do anything stupid, at least not tomorrow, so I guess I'll have to hold her to that.
And where do you go after that? What are your plans? What are your intentions?
I guess I'll go and glance in at Elysium and see if Cornelia's there. Or see if she shows up. See who's around, I guess, because I've got a note to speak to her as well.
So you get to the Elysium, and you see Stefania is there sitting in Mihail's place, and Anna Maria is with her. You see some people you vaguely recognize but never really spoke to. You see Lucian Polski is there, and you see that Rahela and Eliza are sitting there. You don't see Cornelia.
Okay. Is Lucian sitting by himself?
He is. He is looking towards the door, notices you, nods his head towards you.
I nod. I'll maybe briefly come over and just inquire how he's doing.
I'm all right, thank you, Miss Wozniak.
Of course. I'm glad to hear it. I'll not take up too much of your time if you're waiting for someone. So he's sort of glancing in the direction of the door he was looking at.
You're all right.
Are you managing to keep busy?
No, I'm quite free at the moment. I have time for my child. I have time for my lover.
Oh. I'm glad to hear that, then. I say in that sort of, people who are happy to have free time can't relate. But I think I can recognize it if there's genuine.
Well, it's not, I mean, it's not ungenuine
Yeah.
in the sense that he doesn't want to do those things,
Hmm.
but there's definitely, yeah, with your roles last night, I can just give you that.
Mm.
That you
Had
can
a bit of a loose
definitely
end.
see there is a regret there. There is a mask put on. He's being kind of playful about it, but there is this guilt and regret.
Okay. How are they both doing?
Diana is doing well, learning and progressing.
Glad to hear that.
Dominic is. He pauses, kind of glances around. Well, I suppose still adjusting.
Of course. I hope things get a bit easier for him.
As do I. And you see there's some doubt in there.
Mm.
And then
When I
he
s-
glance.
when I say that, it is genuine, and I think my own mask does slightly slip a little bit. And there's genuine hope that he feels better, but yeah. Sorry, he was glancing.
He's glancing towards the door and then back to you.
Okay.
And says, I'm actually waiting for your associate, Miss Shivek.
I'm not entirely sure where she is this evening.
Well, if she shows up, I was hoping to speak to her.
I hope that you don't have to wait too long for her. If you do need, I can always pass a message on to her.
I would appreciate that, but as I said, I have time.
Of course.
And around this time, I would say Janina steps into the Elysium to
Speak of the
have
devil.
a quick look inside.
Yes. I look for Nina.
Nina's not there,
Okay, in
but
that
you
case,
see this other assortment of people, including Bea and Lucian.
okay, when I see Belle, I just wave at her.
I will sort of look in a pleasant surprise and sort of beckon you over.
Oh, I was like about to like turn around and leave, but when I see Belle and gesture, I come close. Oh, good evening.
I'll turn back
Good
to
evening.
Lucian and sort of with a slightly playful expression say, found her.
Oh, good evening, Lucian.
Good evening, Miss Shivak. As your friend has hinted, I was hoping to speak with you.
Oh, okay. I'm here now.
I'll leave you both to it.
And
Perhaps we
sit,
should go somewhere more private.
of course, and I
There are matters, well, private matters to discuss.
will get up and follow Lucian out.
And you get up and follow him out. How are you feeling? You wanted to go away quickly.
Yes, but
You still avoided Bea.
yeah, I'm just not sure what this is about, but I'm not aware of anything wrong that I did, so
He's
I'm
not the
fairly
sheriff anymore.
yeah, exactly, but still like, you know, I feel like I have no idea what this is about, so I just follow him.
And you follow him. Bea.
I think I'm heading. I'll maybe head towards Rahela and Elisa.
So you come up to them, and they smile at you. Rahela more broadly. Elisa gives you a kind but pretty controlled smile and a nod.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Elisa just says, I'm all right, thank you. Rahela glances around. Then her eyes focus on you. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. I sort of pause as I think, a little uncertain, but I'm all right. Just waiting to see who makes an appearance, I guess.
We're just, well, staying where it's safe, I suppose, says Rahela. Elisa just nods her head.
Fair. I sort of glance back around the room.
You do, and you do see your primogen enter, looking to be a man in his 60s, slightly hunched, wearing a patched up, tired old black suit.
Okay.
And they are making the way towards you with a growing smile on their face.
I'm surprised to see them, but I will smile at them as they approach and bow my head to them. Good evening. Good evening, Primogen.
My children, Rahela, Beatrice. Lovely to see you interacting. We need to stick to the ties we still have in our small family.
Of course.
Having said that, and he glances to Rahela, you of course won't mind if I steal Beatrice for a moment. And Rahela just says, oh, no, of course not. Very well then. And then he just looks to Eliza as you are beginning to walk away and just says, Miss Leszczyńska, hold on to her. It will last. And then they start heading towards the door.
Okay, I follow after them. I think I'm a little worried, but also curious.
And he's walking towards your room, just very confidently, casually. But as you're still in the corridor, they say to you, so, I see you've been making progress.
Yes, I say, thinking back at my notes from yesterday.
Well,
Yes.
that is excellent.
Thank you.
I thought I might lend a helping hand while I'm here.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you. We'll let them into the room.
No, still in the corridor.
Oh, right, fair enough.
They say, how are you doing? There is a distress wrapped around you.
I glance around the hotel in general. I'm concerned about the ties, the connections, the crumbling.
The crumbling, well, don't you worry. Things are going to fall into place. And they look completely unconcerned, almost brushing it off like it is not important what you just said.
Okay. I will just take that then. I will not continue.
Come on. We have other things to talk about and other things to do.
I will just nod and quietly follow them.
You follow them and they lead you towards your room. Meanwhile, Janina, you are walking in a different direction with Lucian Topolsky. He's leading you to the balcony over the lobby where you spoke to him a few times back when he was the sheriff and wanted to talk to you about official matters. But now he seems less, well, stern in his demeanor at least. And he still leads you to a table that is fairly to the side so that you can talk in peace. There are a couple of people on the balcony on this other side, but no one who would immediately overhear any conversations.
Okay.
He pulls up the chair for you, offering
I
it for you to sit, and then he sits down himself. Well, Miss Shivek, you seem surprised.
Yeah, I hope everything's okay with Dominic.
No, things are not okay with Dominic, but I wanted to thank you for taking interest in him and keeping him company.
Of course, he's my friend. I care about him deeply.
As do I.
He seemed very sad.
He's not the same as he was before. I don't know if you can see this, but I see it very clearly.
Well, maybe he's just too traumatized for now. Maybe he will come back to his old self.
As cruel as it might sound, I'd like that to be the case. But there's more. He's distant. And I know he's thinking about her.
Her?
The woman in the red dress.
Did he meet
Lady
you?
Leocadia.
Do you think
he longs for her?
Do you think he forfeit her blood?
I think that is the logical conclusion. Of course.
Is there anything we can do to help him forget about her and what happened to him?
I'm not sure. Well, there are ways of helping, as you put it, forget.
Oh, yeah,
but I'm not sure that would be
natural.
wise.
Yes, I think it's never wise to use our gifts on people we care about.
No, and I would not have him go through this.
I meant more like natural things to help him keep himself occupied. I think it would really help him to get back to dancing, spend more time with Diana.
Perhaps the ties and love carried by blood fade with time. But I'm not sure how much time is needed.
What else do you suggest?
I don't know. I think it's good that you're keeping him company.
I will continue to do that. I love his company. He's a good bean.
He's marvelous. And you do see the love in his face, and adoration. And then he kind of shakes himself and says, but there's another matter, also linked to love, I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
How are you, Janina?
I'm fine, I guess. I don't know really how I feel. I still haven't really allowed myself to think about it. And I'm not sure what to do and how to accept what happened. But
do you love her?
Yes.
And do you think she loves you and would want to come back to you?
I would like to think so, but I know it's not possible. Everyone wants to kill her, and I definitely not gonna be the bait to get her here just to be killed, if that's what you're suggesting.
That is not what I am suggesting, Janina.
Okay.
It just seems to me we both find ourselves loving someone. And because of that love, we are looked down upon because of who they are.
Well, I don't really care what other people think, but now her safety is at risk. So that's a bit different than loving a Nosferatu, who is, by all means, a wonderful person. And just because he doesn't look like everyone else, he's being looked down upon. I would.
You think that? Do you know what my clan says about me?
To be honest, I don't. Because.
Well, these are not kind words or kind thoughts that they have. They would not say it, of course, when I was the sheriff.
Yeah, but I think bad things about your Primogen and,
Yes, everyone knows that, Janina.
I think it matters what's inside, and if your clan thinks that what's on the outside is more important, then I think they should take a good look to the mirror and see themselves for who they really are.
Oh, well, I'm sure many of us should. It's not really about that. I don't care what they think because it hurts my feelings. But you need to care somewhat what others think because their thoughts can become a threat to safety or a way to keep someone safe, someone that you love.
I know. I hope you're able to keep Dominic safe because he is a soft person, and
I would go to hell for him and fight Satan himself if needed to get him back.
Oh, trust me, I know that. We have been through that hell together to get him back.
We have.
And I don't regret it.
Neither do I. Not for a second. So I suppose what I'm asking is that how much you love?
Yes, it is. But right now I just have no idea how to help her. I think keeping her away from me and other kindred from Camarilla is the best for her right now, I guess. I'm not sure how safe she is in the Sabbath, but
I don't know.
I wish, but the thing is that if I decide to help her, then it's over for me as well. But I'm probably be willing to risk it for her, even if it means I will have to run away somewhere else with her.
I understand.
I just, right at this moment,
Just, Janina, before you commit yourself to walking into the underworld, make sure she wants to come back with you.
I know.
Roll perception and empathy.
My what is the difficulty?
6.
Okay, 3 successes.
3 successes. Actually, he's not really hiding that. So you see that there is certain regret there when he says that to you about making sure she wants to come back with you. There is certain uncertainty that relates to him, but you also get the sense that he is seeking, he's not quite sure, what you're thinking, but he is seeking connection with you and he wants to offer, if not a direct help, then at least more understanding.
Well, right now, I just don't have any ideas where to even look for her, so I'm not like stupid enough to just walk into Sabbath lair on my own, seeking her. I don't think that would be a good way.
Well, unless you make a plan that has a chance for you to come back.
Yeah,
What I want to convey to you, Janina, although I'm finding that the words fail me, maybe because the matter is close to my heart, is that there are ways, and with enough will and enough focus and enough planning, many things can be achieved for someone you love.
Okay. Well, do you have any ideas for me to offer?
Are you able to call her to you?
I don't think so. I don't know how. I wanted to say I don't have her number, but I understand it wasn't
no.
what he meant.
Also, people don't really call numbers normally at the time. He just kind of nods his head. Well, I don't have a ready solution. I did not know her that well, nor her situation presently. But don't give up hope. And don't give up the love that drives you. People will tell you to. Don't listen.
Okay, thank you for understanding and for offering a more understanding approach than what everyone else has been saying to me. They just want me not to do anything stupid.
Well, if I was still the sheriff of this city, I'd be watching you very closely to make sure of that. But I'm not.
Yeah, I appreciate your help and your honesty on this matter. And I will think about it. And if I come up with something, I will make sure to come to you for advice and discussion.
You can always come to me.
Well, thank you so much. And I will keep an eye on Dominic.
Thank you.
We just have to keep him busy. To remind him that his life is here with us, with you, with Diana. And that love is stronger than the blood that he probably got. And maybe if things will get lucky for us and Lady Leocardia will perish, it will also help.
That would help. But I think for now, let's hope we can keep him away from her for long enough.
Let's keep him busy. Try to, I don't know, try to dance with him.
I'm doing what I can. And you see that he is very, like, he's trying to hold on to hope, and he really wants to help Dominic, and he really cares, but there is some doubt, some fear and despair beginning somewhere deep in him.
I reach out my hand and lightly touch his hand. It's gonna be okay. As you said, we shouldn't give up hope on people we love, especially when the man you love is right next to you.
He smiles just very sadly and nods his head. Very right.
At least we have time.
I do. Thank you, Janina.
Thank you as well. I really appreciate your friendship.
As do I. And you used to see, you have insight, he's maybe a little bit taken aback by the friendship. He didn't quite necessarily expect it, but he doesn't reject it.
You're my friend.
Meanwhile, there. You open the door to your room and step in with Incertum, your primogen. Walks in, takes a look around. So, where else are your distressed thoughts taking you?
To those I care about. To the darkness.
Oh yes, the darkness, our companion in every hour of the night.
I think on my notes from yesterday. Yes. Occasionally getting closer than is comfortable.
Discomfort is a part of our existence, especially for those of our blood. Thrive on it. Look for it, observe it, and learn. It's a trick. Being comfortable, well, can get you killed.
I write it down.
Anything else on your mind, my child? While I'm here, I want to make sure you and your sister are well taken care of.
Thank you. And I sort of think, and there's a bunch of different things, several of which I don't think I necessarily will share with the primogen. Not as much as I like them, they're just very inscrutable. And I wonder about talking about my task, but they also seem disinterested in the sort of ties and things, and I wonder if that's too closely related. So I guess I end up feeling a little bit like wondering whether they actually want to hear about this or if there's something particular that they're looking for from me. Can I try to read them?
I'm sure. Roll your perception and empathy.
I don't imagine it's going to go well, but you know.
Go for it with your rolls.
Sure. Sorry, I'm throwing dice, but nowhere helpful. Difficulty 6?
6, yeah.
Okay, and would insightful apply here?
Yeah, it could.
Okay, 6 successes then.
6 successes, yes, that's enough. So you do see that there are definitely particular things. There is a particular thing as they are glancing around the room.
Okay.
Specifically relating to this. They are almost like waiting something. It's not that they necessarily want you to bring it up. They're more curious, if you will.
Okay. I'm worried about my sire.
And you see that the curiosity is satisfied. You don't need to worry. Felicia is, well, she's at the beginning of a journey of her own. But she's not in danger. Well, not more than any of us are, I suppose.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you miss her?
Yes.
Well, I suppose that's natural. But you have to understand there comes a time when the parents have to live independently of their child there.
Thank you.
Don't give up on her. She has so much ahead of her. And there is this hint of awe and almost fear and curiosity and jealousy somewhere in there. And then you smile again. Now, let's get you to practice. So, how far have you gotten?
I saw my own body from outside of me.
Good. How did you go about that?
I found a sense of weightlessness. I tried thinking of myself as a vessel rather than as my body being me.
That's good. That's very good. But you need to know where you're trying to go.
Okay. So it's more targeted.
Yes. It's a way of searching, of going places without going places.
Okay.
Of stepping out, but not to the room. You are in the room. You don't need to see it from that other perspective. But of going somewhere you perhaps cannot go. Do you want to try it right now?
Yes.
Let's just try it a little bit. Don't try to go anywhere far. Just to the corridor.
Okay.
Focus.
I think I close my eyes.
And Insertum takes your hands.
Should I roll that self-control check?
You can roll self-control check, difficulty 7.
Wonderful. that a 1 or a 7? My God. That's a 1. Okay. Oh no. That is 0 successes.
So you jolt back,
Yes.
and they keep holding your hand with
Okay.
a smile, look to you saying, discomfort is good for us.
Okay. I try very hard to not pull away, although I'm hating this and I'm finding it quite
If you
distracting.
want to go to the corridor.
And I close my eyes and I just focus on not being able to feel touch anymore, and then focus on the concept of the corridor.
And all your perception and awareness with difficulty 8. The difficulties are higher because you're learning.
I am baby. I'm presuming neither insightful or someone's in my head
No.
or counting here, so that's 3 successes.
3 successes. So you do. How are you feeling? You're feeling discomfort at being touched. You want to get away. And you find it distracting. And you think about the corridor, and then you realize you are away. And you are in the corridor. And you see in front of you a similar, slightly, not quite material form of your primogen. Roll your perception and occult with difficulty 9, please. Sorry, 8.
Oh boy.
Uh,
2 successes.
So you see their form, their astral form, but you can't quite focus on it. At first, it looks to you like the man they were appearing as, but then there is a woman that you think looks familiar. Then there is a man with a lot of facial hair. There's an older woman. There's a lot of other faces and different body postures that seem to blend into one another, and you can't quite decide which one you are seeing.
I think I sort of settle with that because it feels somewhat familiar to me from the times I've looked before.
And they smile at you. Now, you see leaning closely. The trick is to know how to come back. Focus. Try to find a way of to your body. Think of a thread, of the essence tying you to it. Think of it. Think of being material, touched. And you focus.
I think I'm picturing it almost like coming home. It's the home that I reside in.
And the next thing you know, you are back in your body, and Insertum lets go of your hands.
Thank you.
You now know what I meant. Just be careful, child. It is a dangerous trick. Your body is going to be left helpless when you're not in it. And you won't always know what's happening to it. And more importantly, some can harm you when you are in your immaterial form. So sometimes it's safer to go somewhere physically. You need to judge it yourself. But you have a great talent. I'm glad you're exploring it.
Thank you. I sort of think back to them telling me that it's important to remember how to get back. Can you get lost?
You can. if you wander into, well, places where someone can set a trap for you, or sway you, or hold you. Not on your own, you shouldn't. You know your body.
Okay.
But it's possible to get lost if someone helps you.
Understood.
Well, I will be leaving soon. So if there's anything on your mind, child, now is the time to ask.
Will Felicia come back to us, or does that matter? And when I say does that matter, I think internally I'm going, does that matter to you?
Her path leads through darkness and blood and secrets and lies and unspoken half-truths to things terrible and wonderful. I don't think she will be stepping back into this building. She can't. She could be stopped from what calls to her right now. But you may yet see her. Just be careful.
Do you have any advice for me outside of what you've already offered?
You have a gift for becoming someone else, but have a core of who you are. And hold on to that core. A purpose, a value, an emotion, a loyalty. Don't let yourself be swayed whichever way in the wind. It's easy, but it's purposeless.
How do you manage it? You have a core as well?
I have a core. I'm always the primogen of Warsaw Camarilla.
Thank you.
You could accomplish great things, Beatrice. Just find your core.
Yes, Primogen. And I write it down.
Now, I better be going. I have many dead to bury in this city.
I hope that goes smoothly for you.
I'm sure we will speak again.
Thank you, Primogen. I wish you well.
And I wish you well, child. And they
And I get-
smile at you and start leaving,
I'll get the door for
waving
them.
at you as they're going away.
I smile back at them, feeling, as per usual, a little, not overwhelmed, that's not quite the right word, but a little bit like a tornado's just kind of walked through a room. And I think I write up my notes from what we just discussed. And once I've done that, I head back to Elysium.
All right. Meanwhile, Janina, you finish your conversation with Lucian. Says goodbye to you.
I say goodbye to him, and I probably stay sitting there for a moment longer.
And he leaves, saying he will go rejoin Dominic. And what are you thinking about as you're sitting there?
I think about what he said, and it feels good to hear someone be more understanding and I guess understanding and supportive of me wanting to save Nastya and not to just pretend like she didn't exist. So I think I'm trying to think for a moment about my options, but at this moment I really have none. And I promise Bea I'm not gonna do anything stupid today, so I will get up and be on my way to the hospital and to feed on somewhere on the way.
And you leave to go to feed and to visit Mr. Potocki. And I think this is a good place to end. Thank you very much for playing.
Thank you for running.
And thank you to everyone who's been watching. We're really grateful you're here with us following this story. We will be back in 2 weeks, which should be on 21st of November at 6:30 p.m. GMT. So please join us again in 2 weeks to see what happens next. And until then, good night.
Good night.
Good night.